Hello, good morning, and welcome to the next episode of the Conscious Female Founder. I am 𝐒𝐲𝐢𝐲𝐝. I am an e-commerce mentor and confidence coach, and obviously the owner of this podcast and YouTube channel. And I wanted to sit down with you guys today. I know normally I sit down with someone else and talk to some of the other inspiring women who are creating great waves in business. But this morning I'm going to sit down and talk to you on my own because there's a topic that has come up recently for some of my clients, and I thought it was a really, really important one to touch upon. Obviously, it's the beginning of the year. Like many people, I'm sure there are people out there that have set New Year's resolutions. And I don't know whether you know, but the stat is actually by the 19th of January, most people will have broken their New Year's resolution. They will have picked up the glass of wine, will have sacked off the gym, they probably will have eaten the slice of cake, and probably people are feeling a bit bummed out about it. So I thought actually maybe now it's a really good time to try and look at things a little bit differently. So I'm going to go over you today the 6 simple steps on how to achieve your goals, and not only how to achieve them, but how to absolutely smash them. 6 simple steps. This is going to have so much value for so many people. And if there are people that are like, oh, I wanted to make this New Year's resolution, but I've slumped it already, this will be perfect for you guys. This is brilliant for small goals, big goals, life goals, career goals, relationship goals. It can be absolutely anything. The formula is the same for whatever goal it might be that you're trying to achieve. So first of all, step number 1 is the simplest. It is decide what you want. It is literally that simple. Take the time to do that. Take the time to decide what is a dream and what is a goal. Because there's a real difference in these two things. A dream is something that exists in your imagination, and a goal is something that exists in the external. So really, really take your time to work out what it is that you dream about. Like, is it something that could be turned into a goal? What does it feel like if you have a dream of writing a book or being on TV or moving to a new country? Take your time to sit there and really explore, what does it feel like? Where am I? Can I feel the object that it is that I've achieved? What can I see? What can I smell? What can I hear? Because this will determine whether this is actually just a dream or whether this is something that you really want to achieve. And I think there's a massive difference between saying to yourself, oh, like I dream of doing XYZ, but actually I have a goal of doing something. One exists in your mind, the other exists in the world. So really, really take your time to decide, is it a dream or is it a goal? Because if it's a goal, it's going to exist in the external and I am going to achieve it. So that's step number 1. The other thing, actually, just let me just add in there, the other thing to think about when you're kind of determining between dream and goal is, how will I know when I've achieved that goal? What will be the thing that I will be able to say, yes, I have now achieved that? Is it you have a goal of earning X amount of money? Like, how are you going to measure it? Because with that particular one, well, it would be when the money's in my bank account, when the debt is paid off, when I'm mortgage free, when I've managed to purchase the car I want. That, making sure that you have a way of measuring it is so important, because that is when you'll know that you've achieved the goal that actually is really important to you. So I guess, like, for me, some of my goals for this year, one of a big one for me is making sure that I'm drinking so much more water. It's something I'm conscious about. So I've put it down. I've realized that's something that I want to achieve, and I know how I'm going to measure it. I've got my massive water bottle, and I know by the end of every single day, if I've drunk the whole thing, then I've achieved that goal. So step number 2, write it down. I know, really, really simple, but actually where a lot of people forget to do. They forget to actually write it down. So they say, yeah, I've got this goal. This is what I'm going to go for. Cool, right? Have you written it down? Oh, no, I don't need to do that. Yeah, you do. You really, really do. And the reason you need to do that is because what happens when you write something down is it's called external storage. When you take it out of your mind and you write it on paper, it's now becoming real. And a really good tip for doing this is to write it down and to stick it up around your house, whether it's 1 goal, 2 goals, 10 goals, doesn't matter. Write them down so that you're constantly seeing them. So your brain is constantly being reminded of what the goal is. Because then what will happen is your brain will go through something called encoding. So basically, we as humans, I think we have around something like, I think 70,000 thoughts a day. So we are constantly filtering information, whether we realize we are or we aren't, our brain is constantly filtering information. So what happens when we go through this encoding phase, we are constantly reminding our brain that something is important to us. So it will start to pick up information from the external to bring it to our attention. So for instance, you might have a goal of, do you know what? I want to travel to Japan this year. Right. Okay, that's my goal. I've written it down. I've now stuck it up all the way around my house. Now I might even book the trip. But what will happen then, the more and more I see it, and I might not even realize I'm reading it, but the more and more that I see it, my brain will start to pick up information from the external and bring it to me. It will make me start to see things, remember things, because it now knows that this is important to you. So make sure you do that. Stick it around your house, put it on your laptop screen, put it on your phone screen, have little reminders that pop up on your phone. It can be as simple as that. But make sure that the information is there so that your brain then is constantly picking it up. You're constantly reminding yourself of what this goal is and why it's important to you. Step number 3, find the formula. I can absolutely guarantee you with my hand on my heart that whatever your goal is, no matter whether it's a small goal, a big goal, a money goal, a career goal, a business goal, I can guarantee you someone has done it. Now, don't let that discourage you. Actually, let that encourage you. I know a lot of us might look out there and be like, oh, but that's, if I go and do the same thing as them, well, they're just competition to me. Actually, not at all. They will have found the formula to make something work, and they're showing you that it's a success, that it can work, that you can achieve that goal. So go out and find the formula for what they did. It is literally that simple. Stalk the person online, go and speak to them at an event, put yourself out there, find the formula and find out what they did, how they did it, and start to follow it. I know some people might be like, oh yeah, but that's copying someone else, and I don't really want to do that. It doesn't matter, because essentially everybody can have the same steps, but how we do it, our personality and the stamp we put on it, it will be so different. So make sure you find the person with the formula. I tell you a little story. As some of you might know, I set up a product-based business about 8 years ago. And it did really, really well, shipped all over the world. It's still up and running to this day. And when I set that product-based business up, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. Not a clue. I had never, ever had my own business before. So I had the idea, I had the goal. And at the time, I had a coach. I was working with a coach who had done something very similar. And she'd set up her own products-based business, and she'd done amazingly well for me. And she was willing to share her formula with me. And I was like, oh, I don't know, but she's kind of got the thing, that the instruction manual that I need. In the end, I took it. In the end, I followed her formula and I did the steps that she told me to do and the steps she taught. And sure enough, boom, success. She had created a very, very successful products-based business, and I had created a very successful products-based business. Why? Because I followed the formula. It's literally as simple as that. And now, to even go one step further than that, I am now working with a client who is doing exactly the same thing. It's one of the things I teach some of my private coaching clients is how to add income streams to their business. Passive income streams, and I'm literally doing that with one of my clients at the moment. And this conversation happened probably about just over a year ago. I met this lady. I was in Florida. I met this lady, and we sat around the pool. And she's a lovely lady, she's PT, and we started chatting and about business and life. And She was saying to her, that being a PT was quite hard because she loved it, but actually at that particular point, she was trading time for money. And I sat there and I said to her, I said, well, you know, I can understand that completely because actually, I guess even if you have a 1 hour client, yes, it's time you've got to take into consideration to get to the gym or get to the person's house, and then it's time to get back again. So actually, it's not really 1 hour, is it? She was like, no. So I said to her, I said, oh, I I wonder, like, do you write fitness plans for them, or food diaries, or recipe packs, or anything like that? She was, of course I do. It's part of my job. And I was like, there are people out there that will want that. And we ended up setting up a business for her so that she has now the ability to create passive income through her products. And all she's done is follow the formula I've given her. All I've done is follow the formula that many years ago a coach gave to me. Now, all three of us, completely different industries, but all three of us doing well from doing it. So I'm saying to you is go out and find the formula to what it is that you want to achieve. And even if you can't find someone, these days you can put this stuff into AI. Show me the formula in 10 steps on how I can create X, and it will come up with everything. It's literally that simple. But it's one of those things, I think a lot of the time people get stuck on this one because they kind of think, oh, oh, I think I know what I'm doing. I can kind of fluff my way through it. I promise you, you will rob yourself of time and energy if you do that. Because I have done that for so long, over so many things. You will rob yourself. Go and spend your energy and your time looking for the people that have achieved what you want, and research the hell out of them. Find out what they did, how they did it, the steps they took, what was important, what wasn't important, what saved time, what saved money. Speak to them. It's literally that simple. The other thing to take into consideration when you're thinking about formulas as well is that this is the one thing that will keep you motivated, because there will be days when the big goal that you had at the beginning of the year that you were so excited about, now, a few months in, is boring and it's dull. But if you've got the formula, you've got the steps, it will keep you on track. You are much more likely to succeed than if you don't find the formula. So go out and do it. The other thing I'd say to you as well, obviously social media is such a big platform at the moment. We've got loads of different ones. Go and find your people on social media. Don't be afraid of putting yourself out there. Don't let the fear of it hold you back from achieving what it is that you want, because you are literally just robbing yourself. So go and find those people. Start talking about what it is that you want to achieve on social media. And I can guarantee you the right people will show up for you and support you. Don't let the opinions of others hold you back in achieving that big goal. Step number 4. This is another simple step. Do the reps. You've got to do the work. Do the reps. It's like the beginning of January and a lot of people are going to the gym. I've done it many times before. And you get all the gear, you get ready, you're feeling good about it, you're excited, this is what I'm going to achieve. And by about week 2, you're thinking, this is really boring. Like having to show up online, or having to go into the gym, or having to drink all this water, or whatever it is, it's going to get boring. I'm not going to lie to you. It becomes boring and it becomes tedious. But doing the reps every single day to move the needle 1% closer to your goal will literally be the key to your success. It is proven that when people have a plan in place, there is a 91% success rate. Research shows that. So make the plan, do the reps. There is something really interesting. I think it's called implementation intention. And it's about writing down and making a commitment to yourself of when you will do the rep every single day. So you write it down, you say, right, on this time, in this place, I'm gonna do the rep. Because there will be moments where you don't want to do it. There will be moments where you don't want to put on the gym leggings and get in the car or go for the run, or there'll be times you don't want to get your steps in. There'll be times where you want a glass of wine, you don't want a glass of water. There'll be times where you want the cake, you don't want the healthy salad. But by doing the reps and making the commitment and writing it down again, your brain is saying, we're committed to this and we're going to do this. And that's where the key to success is. It can be boring, it can be tedious. A lot of people go into the gym in January and they're like, yeah, I want the six pack, I want the abs, I want the nice legs. If I could go into the gym and go once and walk out with the perfect body or the best skin or whatever it might be, brilliant. But the truth of the matter is, it doesn't work like that. The people that are willing to do the hard stuff and do it quietly and grind away, they're the ones that find success. And unfortunately, you will find that they are willing to do the things that maybe you aren't in the moment that you're having that self-doubt, or that moment where you're battling with your mind, oh, I know I need to do this, but I don't really want to do it. So really good tip and trick for that, because our brains are actually wired to keep us away from the hard stuff. They are actually so we are physically fighting against our brain, against the hard thing that we want to do. But a really good tip for doing this is counting down from 5. So you've written it down, you've made the commitment, you know when you're doing it, and then now it's the time, and you still don't want to do it. But you know it's the thing, you know it's the key to helping you move that bit closer. So count back from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm doing it. And even saying to yourself, I know this is going to be hard, but I'm doing it anyway, will start to code your brain to make it slightly easier. So do the reps, keep doing them, keep chipping away, keep talking about it, and it will get easier. But it is the key to success. Unfortunately, there are no shortcuts. There are no shortcuts. Even if the goal is a small goal, there are no shortcuts. But if it's going to suck now, I promise it will pay off tenfold later. Step number 5. Okay, so we've found out what the goal is. We've written it down. We've found the formula. We're doing the reps. I've been doing them a couple of weeks, couple of months. Okay, now we're becoming consistent in them. Now I'm thinking, what's step number 4? Step number 4 is now it's time to make it fun. Now it's time to throw in something, because at some point you're going to get bored. So let's try and mix this up a little bit, and let's try and make this fun. So now is the time to start thinking about how to do the rep a little differently. I'm not saying completely change it. What I'm saying is make it fun now. Make a plan. Ask friends to join you. Find an online group. Talk to other people. But now you're doing the reps for a few weeks. Now you can make it fun. Now make it visual. Make it a little bit easier for yourself. But you know that you're still doing it, and you know that the wheels are still moving. You still got that momentum. You're still doing the 1% every single day. Now it's time to make it fun. Now it's time to put a system in place. So absolutely make it fun. I know I said that doing the reps is boring as hell, and sometimes it is, but there are ways to make it fun at the same time. Step number 5. Step number 6, the last step, and one of the biggest important steps: do not quit. Do not give up. Like I said to you at the beginning, how will we know when we've achieved the goal? Well, it will be when the thing is in our hands, or like I said, the bank account has got X amount of money in it, or we've reached that particular country and our feet have touched down on the floor. Don't give up. Do not give up. There will be many times maybe when you feel like giving up. And in those times, the things that I would say to you would be, If that is the case, go back to step one. Go back to step one and take the time to decide whether it is actually a dream and you should cut your losses, or whether actually this is still really important to you and this is actually still a goal. There are so many success stories around the world. You might even know people that have chipped away quietly for years, getting rejected left, right, and center, but they didn't give up. They knew the goal, they knew what they wanted, and they were prepared to do the reps, and they weren't going to give up. So just don't quit. So I wanted to share that with you guys. The last thing I would say to you as well is throw the timeline out the window. I know a lot of the time we sit there and we go, right, big goals this year, right? What we're going to do, right? By the end of the year, I will have achieved X, Y, and Z. But you're putting a timestamp on it. Don't do that, because that will put pressure on you and you're more likely to quit, because it could get halfway through the year and you're thinking, well, I'm not even halfway there. Oh, just throw something. Don't quit. Throw the timeline out the window. Stay laser focused. Keep following your formula. Keep showing up. Keep doing the reps. And I promise you, whatever that goal is that you want to achieve, you will achieve it. And when you do, it will be 10 times better than you could have ever imagined it would have been. So I hope that helps you guys. I hope if there's people out there that, yeah, maybe the New Year's resolution has kind of gone out the window, know that actually setting goals doesn't always have to be at the beginning of the year. For me personally, I don't set New Year's resolutions. I believe if I want to change something, I can do it today. I can start the process today, because I can start at step one today and I can do step two, and then I can move on to step three. So it doesn't have to be a certain time of day, certain time of month, not even a certain time of year. But if there is something that you want to achieve and there is a goal out there and you're like, I really want this, don't wait until tomorrow. Like I say to people, our life is not a movie trailer. This is the big film. So absolutely go and find out what your goals are, follow those steps. And that in itself is just a formula. Follow those steps, follow the formulas, and I promise you, you will achieve your goals. Thank you so much. Take care. Any questions, give me a shout.